Now, let's get more reaction to that Stilfontein illegal mining saga. I'm joined by the co-chairman of the Global Community Miners Forum, who's Matt Hales. Matt, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Newsfeed PM. This is a big crisis in South Africa, but Matt, as you know, it's a global problem. I believe you are in Peru right now with similar challenges.
That's correct. Yes, I'm actually here in Peru witnessing the protests going on from the small-scale mining communities there, pushing to get the Congress to pass some bills so they can get legalized and formalized so they can get their mining licenses.
So from what you've been watching and observing from where you are about the situation in Stilfontein as well, what are your thoughts as an organization dealing with this?
Well, we see a lot of things. The main point is the mining continues. So that's what we look at practically is even when there's an engagement or military action or what's going on in South Africa is typically once this is resolved, and hopefully it'll be resolved in a good manner, that the mining will resume. So we look at the practicalities of the community itself, and we have a lot of miners that know how to mine. They're interested in developing those skills to get higher yields and things like that. So we just look at a case-by-case basis and try to see what other countries are doing. And we're seeing bits and pieces of progress in different countries. And so we've collectively gotten together with Sean Lethoko of NAM, and he shares with other chairmen from other countries, what's going on there. And then we talk about practical solutions like developments in Uganda, for instance, that have shown success with allocating land for mining for the local mining. And then putting some of even the Zama type leaders in positions of chair positions and then train them and work with them to develop even with large scale mining operations and things like that would take a little more time to explain in detail, but that benchmarking process of development, because the mining continues after these events kind of rise up and fall again. So we look at practical development solutions and exchange ideas internationally.
So Matt, you're saying part of the solution is legalizing and formalizing the market as well, which is a lot of what has been said here too, also by the Department of Minerals and Energy as well, who've been trying to get more and more people into artisanal mining, but also sometimes it comes with a lot of red tape and a slow process. Would you say that this is a global process challenge as well that you find?
Definitely. There's a lot of misconceptions, say, for instance, about the margins in mining. People think that the miners are getting rich or that there's easy money there, but the practical realities of mining is it's difficult work and there's very specific margins. So getting people, especially governments, to understand what those margins look like, and then to look at the actual practical existing economy, illegal or otherwise. The money is coming out of the ground and it's moving somewhere. And so understanding the existing supply chain is very critical. And then maybe even engaging the existing supply chain and bringing it to a legal status over time, as long as expectations are realistic and people understand the actual mining process on both sides.
And on this channel just last week, we were speaking to the spokesperson of the department, and he was also saying that, look, they would really like more and more people to move into artisanal mining because it's formalized and they can regulate that as well. But he was also saying that being said, he also acknowledges that there are those who don't want to enter the formal market and are that entrenched into the criminal aspect of it and already have their handlers. For those who aren't even interested, because there are those who aren't interested and in moving from it being illegal to legal, what's the solution for that?
Honestly, we see a lot of government corruption or police corruption that come in and they squeeze the miners. So everybody wants to get in the middle of that supply chain, but they don't want to do the mining work. So I think that's why it's really clear to, explain to local politicians all the way up the exact, nature of those margins and take out the mystery of it. Because the idea is they're rich or there's an extra supply of money, but it's a very, very tight margin industry. So if that comes to understanding, then people don't come in, governments or police or other types come in and squeeze the mining community unrealistically. So they also need to be regulated on how they regulate.
And just as your parting shot as well, would you be able to draw any similarities? As we started this discussion, we're mentioning that you're in Peru right now, and there's a similar problem there too. If you had to draw parallels between, these two countries and the issues that we're facing right now, what would you say they are?
There's a lot of similarities. Mining is, there's a certain amount of techniques you can do, especially with gold mining, alluvial and otherwise. But I've seen some of the practices here and the way they've structured the processing is better. For instance, they'll have a centralized processing plant. So, for instance, in Kenya, everybody has their own processing plant up to the illusion part, which is more one person is doing that, but you centralize, like in Uganda, you'll centralize the processing plant around the mining, and then you can track all the bags that are coming out of the ground, and you can have the local people involved in that, even to regulate that process, how much is coming out, keeping track of everything, but it has to make sense to the mining community as well. Because these people are also the same people that understand how to mine. They're the ones that also could use training and to do better mining. And I do believe it was Bosveld Gold Mine that I'd heard about had come in and actually started working with local miners and really formalized an operation there some time back. So you can look at large scale in collaboration with the government as well as the local mining. So we share those ideas on our Global Community Mining Forum, which is an organization we started last year with our chairman, Gatot Sugiharto from Indonesia. And getting these ASM chairmen together, if they've been nationally recognized, getting them together to brainstorm gives us some leverage to come into the government and be realistic with large scale and government, and find some areas where you can develop, a community that's ready to, embrace, the miners they have already, but develop them into something more professional and higher yielding.